Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and another fishing video. So behind me is the banks of the River Trent. I'm at Collingham today and I'm going to be fishing Rob and Julie's private paddock, an overnight session. I'll show you how you can book this venue yourself, how I approach the session, and hopefully we'll pick up one or two barbel in the process. So this is Rob and Julie's paddock. Loads of room. Easily get a couple of anglers on here. Nice grassy area, goes right down to the water's edge. Plenty of area to fish. There's no fishing whatsoever down this left hand margin, so absolutely stacks the room. It is on the outside of a right hand bend. There's the Collingham conveyor in the background. So let's have a look at the kit I'm using today then. So I could probably, looking at the condition of the river, being honest, get away with the 1 3/4 pound test curve barbel rods I use on the Severn, but I didn't know the condition prior to getting here, so I took a chance and brought the 2 1/4 pound uprated rods instead. I've got those paired up with the normal ST4000 Shimano baitrunners that I use. Those have got ESP Synchro 12-pound line. Got these on a Korum River pod. Got that secured down there with a bungee cord, and I've got a couple of Delcubes with snag ears on there, which is everything that I need to fish through the night. So I've got a couple of rods set up and out in the water now then. The right hand rod downstream is going to be in the shadow of that tree on the far margin there, and similarly I'm targeting this area of shadow here as well. That's for the upstream rod. It's probably like 4 hours of daylight left, something like that. It's likely the barbel are going to come on the feed a bit later in the day when the light conditions have dropped, but we're going to get some bait out into the water, get the spots established, and hopefully be ready for when the conditions come to us a bit later in the night. So I've got the bivvy up and everything ready for the night ahead, and I'm just grabbing a little bit of shade because it's still piping hot out there. In terms of bait for the session, so it's the first time I've been to this stretch before, so whenever I come to a new stretch I do like to split the approach just to see what happens over the first few hours of the session. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Upstream rod I'll start on a 14mm pellet for early evening, and the downstream rod I'm going to go in with a CKO flavoured cocoon boilie, just to see how the fish react to both. If one of the two methods is doing a lot more bites versus the other, then we'll switch both rods. Just gives a chance to have a look at, is there a preferred option out there that is going to trip up more bites versus the other. So that's how I'm going to start. Rods are out now, not anticipating anything for a couple of hours yet, but you never know. Let's see how we get along. So here's the ground bait mixed up, ready to go for today's session. It's the CKO flavour from Vortex, nice and bright, loads of attractors in. That's going to pull fish into the area, both on a sight and a smell perspective. Really stands out on the bottom, that does. I've got some cooked hemp going through that, load spare as well to keep that topped up. That's the mix that we're going to get out in the river today. Well, we are in on the upstream rod. On the pellet. Oh, this one's going. Look at that. Just keep gaining on it ever so slowly, take our time. Hopefully the footage is coming out here as we're looking straight into the sun. let's concentrate on getting this fish on the bank. Well, this is a gorgeous way to start the session. Upstream rod, 14mm pellet, couple of taps and then straight over with the tip. Nothing huge, but it's a lovely fish to start with. Just over 7 pound. Stunning Trent barbel. Well, got that rod back out again now. It's good to get that first bite and get the monkey off your back, get that blank gone, but no huge barbel as I mentioned whilst I was showing you the fish, but who cares for the first one. Nice bit of cloud cover coming in the background, and the light levels are starting to drop now as you can see there, so it's coming towards that time of the day where you'd hope that the barbel would come onto the feed a little bit more. So let's see what the next few hours brings. Bit disorganised for this session, just tying up some PVA bags, which is something I would normally do before every session. Kids' school holidays, work, just mad over the last few days, just didn't get around to it unfortunately. But what I'm doing here is every rechuck I'm adding one of these bags, so I've got a mix of 14mm pellets and cocoon boilies there, so that goes out on every recast. I'm making sure my casts are really tight on the spot. I'm looking to build up a carpet of bait on the bottom in the area that I'm targeting, and as the session goes on, more and more bait is landing on the same spot, which is pulling more and more fish into the area, which hopefully as the session goes on should translate into more and more bites. So as I mentioned before, I'm casting to a really tight pair of spots, both rods, but I am just scattering some boilies with the catty just around a slightly wider area, so I've got a more concentrated patch of bait with some loose offerings around the outside to just help encourage the fish to come in and find my spots. Yeah, we're in upstream rod. This is absolutely tearing off downstream. Let's get some angle on this rod. Keep some separation on the two lines. It's hanging around nice and deep. Keep slowly taking some line back off it. Well, here's the result of that bite on the upstream rod. That's the pellet rod. We've got ourselves the first double of the session. What a beautiful barbel that is. Yeah. £10, 12 ounces. What a stunner. Thank you very much. Let's have a quick look at the other side of this one. Just gently turning round. There we go. Superb. I'll show you the setup I use to capture my nighttime images. So down here I've got everything ready for a fish to come on the bank. I've got my tracker cradle. I'll bring this to sessions on the Trent because it's that bit longer and just gives that bit of extra space for working with a bigger stamp of fish. Got my forceps, got my water bucket, got my camera tripod, and either side of the camera tripod I've got 2 Fox Halo light units on bank sticks. Now the key to nighttime images, if you're over the top of your cradle here, you need the light units at the same height as the camera, so you've got a consistent line across here. If you have the light units down at ground level, which is where I see a lot of people having them, the fish will cast a shadow over your face when you take your self-take picture. It's really important to have the light at the same level as the camera, so you get a consistent beam, you get no shadows, and that's the key to getting good nighttime photos. Wow, what an evening. Look at that. So the light's starting to drop quite quickly now. I'm going to do another rechuck in a second, and when I do that I'm going to add these clip-on tip lights that I've just recently bought. Now these are great, just thought I'd show you these. So made by Rig Shark. These are small, 1.5 to 2.5 mil, perfect for a barbel rod. Now the great thing about these is they're rechargeable. So these are the tip lights on the left hand side, and then you get this USB charging device. These silver tubes are the batteries that go inside the lights themselves. You charge them up on the 2 center holes and you store them on the outer ones so they don't lose their charge. Dead easy to use, really user friendly, highly recommended. Rig Shark clip-on tip lights. Well, what a wake-up call this has been. Upstream rod. This has been the hardest fighting barbel I've had on for a long time. At least 15 minutes would have said to have got this fish in. 3 or 4 times I've got it close to the net and it's literally just kept turning and going. I'll show you this absolute brute of a barbel. Still stacks of life in it now. It's had a real good rest. Look at that. £12, 2 ounces. These are the ones we come to the Trent for. What a beast. What a beast of a barbel that was. I can't get over that. Massive fight. You get it to the net cord, you think it's done, and literally off again. Don't know where it found the energy from, but what a pleasure it was to have caught that. I've made sure it's well rested. It's gone back safely now and the rod's back in, but £12 of unbelievably hard fighting barbel there. So bite on the downstream rod. That was on the boilie. And we've got ourselves for a little wake up call. 8.5 pound barbel. Lovely specimen. In great condition, barely a mark on it. That'll do very nicely indeed. Let's get you back, mate. So both rods back out again now. There's those rig sharp tip lights shining bright. Turn the light off and I couldn't have had my head down for any more than probably about 3 or 4 minutes, and the upstream rod this time has absolutely ripped off as well. Geez, these takes are really aggressive. It's not a particularly big fish, this one, but still more than welcome. There we go, 7 pound 4. Great sport on the Trent. Well, another bite on the upstream rod. Little short spirited fight. Actually yielded this little 6 pound barbel. Again, no real damage on the fish, it's in great condition. No mouth damage, looks like it's the first time it's been caught in a long time. That'll do it nicely. Let's get that rod back out, see if we can find a bigger one. Well, it's just after 4 o'clock now. That last barbel there, 6 pound, definitely very welcome, albeit smallest one of the session so far. I was having pretty consistent bites up until I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Had a couple of chub, which I didn't film, just probably 3-4 pounds, something like that. So they got unhooked, went straight back. Rod kept going back out each time, same spots, same approach. Those little PVA bags of pellet and cocoon. So building the swim nicely, and the bites kept coming. I must have fallen asleep though, and I woke up probably 3:45, something like that, and yeah, just felt like something was wrong. So I'm in a bite for a bit and reeled in both rods just for a refresh, and yeah, done on both rods, no hook baits at all. So Mitten crabs are kind of a problem on the tidal, and yeah, definitely by the look of it have been wiped out on both rods by those, and they couldn't have been out any more than probably about an hour and a half. Previous to that, during the night, the bites were coming probably easily within probably 45 minutes to an hour, so the barbel were probably having time to get at them before the crabs were. Single bleep there, nothing going on, but yeah, just shows, you know, even during the night, you've got to recast regularly. Crabs are a real problem on the tidal, and yeah, refresh both of the rods, back out again, and that 6 pound barbel turned up within half an hour. So yeah, first light's probably about 40 minutes away now, so rods are back out again, and yeah, let's see what the early morning brings. Well, I'm definitely glad I woke up and refreshed both of the rods now. It's sort of 10-15 minutes later, can't be anything more than that. I've not checked the time, but the other rods literally just screamed straight off as well. Well, the little fella here, let's give him a very good soaking. Ooh. All tensed up. Lovely looking barbel though. So both rods went back out on the CKO boilies. I've got some hard hooker versions, so I'll show you those once the light's up properly. Hopefully they'll help combat the crabs, keep those away, keep those rigs fishing for longer. That'll do nicely. So both rods back out on the spots again. Morning, Mr. and Mrs. Swan. First light on the Trent. Barely any surface movement. It's been a great night so far, lots of bites. Yeah, you've enjoyed it too, have you, mate? Well, what a night's fishing that was. Other than that hour and a half period where the mitten crabs got me, where I dozed off, it was literally a bite of chuck every 30 to 40 minutes. The Trent fishing its head off. Unbelievable session. 9 barbel, 2 chub, 1 bream in a quick overnighter. You know, can't grumble at that at all. Biggest 12-pound too. Great fishing. Need to get my head down for some sleep now, but if you want to book this paddock, I mentioned at the start of the video, I'll tell you how. So Rob Lee, Julie Lloyd, it's their property, it's private land, so you need to book direct with Julie. If you go onto the Facebook River Trent Angling group page, you'll find Julie Lloyd in there. If you drop Julie a message direct, she'll take a booking from you. Just beware though, it's booking in advance only. Don't expect anything at short notice, because you know, as you've probably seen from the video, it's a really nice place to fish, and it's pretty popular. But yeah, contact Julie via Facebook and Messenger. Hope you've enjoyed this video. For me, getting out on the Trent and doing a session away from the Severn has been quite refreshing, to be honest. So there's a stretch on the Avon I'm going to hit soon, so that might well be the next video, or there might be a video from Erdington Brook on the Severn. Hope you've enjoyed it anyway. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your own fishing, and I look forward to catching you on the next one again soon.